Hey guys, Nathan Brandon Masters. I got the message loud and clear. I have changed the camera angle and I'm re-reviewing the Tavolozza A3 sketchbook, as you see here. I've never had a review where people popped in for a few seconds and then they're out. And this is going to be quick because I've already drawn an image in the book. So let's jump into it. This is, of course, the Tavolozza A3 sketchbook. And it has a high like ratio, but at the same time it has a high return ratio, and that's because of the packaging. And they just tend to throw it in plastic and then throw it in one of those flame retardant envelopes. And so what ends up happening is the book ends up getting banged up on the edges, and many times people will send it back. And there's pictures of other damage and stuff that happens in shipping. But to the company's credit, according to the reviews, you send them back and the company gets right on it, send you a better packaged new one. Now, the next issue people are having is this sticker. It doesn't come off. I mean, you can obviously scrape it off or, wrestle with it to get it off, but you're going to leave behind those little white bits of paper. So some people will paint over it, some people put stickers over it. Some people leave it as it is because it doesn't affect the book in any way, shape, or form. As far as the dings go, if it's just like this and you're like me, you're not going to go through the trouble of sending it back. It's just not worth it. Now, the other two options are the Art Way, which has a landscape and a portrait version, and of course the Moleskine A3 sketchbook, which is the thing that got me interested in this at first. But it was $36. The paper was 120 GSM, and the paper was cream, and for those reasons, it was a no-go. Now, that being said, this is kind of a get what you pay for kind of thing, so even though it's constructed nice enough, it's not something I would bump around or throw around too much. I get the idea this is something that you want to kind of find a place to put it. You're drawing it, put it on a shelf or something. I know somebody is going to want to take this with them. So, put it in a nice handbag or something. Don't put it in a book bag. Put it in something that's not going to get swung around and knocked around. So a padded messenger bag would be nice if you have one big enough for this to fit in. Now, this is the image that I drew in there, and I did this with that ink, the thick ink I did the video about, and that took a lot of water. And that was why I used that to show you what this book could take. If you're going to use wet media, light washes, and light watercolor, that's the way to go. Now, this book can take heavy washes and things like that, as you can see. I'll show you the back here in a minute, but I also did some alcohol marker because I know people want to see it. But we pretty much know how this is going to end. It shows through the back. As for the heavy wash, you can see that the paper does buckle, but for 102 pound paper at 170 GSM, that's not too bad at all. Another thing, there were some spots in here that came from the manufacturer, and you can't really see them here, but they're just like little light smudges and things like that. So there seems like there may be some quality control issues at the factory. And I had to separate these two pages a little bit because there was glue in here, just like a little bit of glue in here. And this is something that you see in sketchbooks like this. I had another sketchbook that had a similar issue, and it was a name brand sketchbook. So glue was right in here, and I had to pull the page apart. But again, it's not a big deal, but something you might want to look out for. Remember, this is a $18 A3 sketchbook. Right now it's on sale for 10% off, so it's probably about a $21 sketchbook. Now, that being said, I didn't find the glue issue in any of the in-between pages, but it is on the last page of the book as well, but not as nearly pronounced, so it's part of the binding process. But to wrap it up, if you want an A3 sketchbook, you don't want to spend $36, this is a low budget option for you. It's 170 GSM paper, 96 pages, bright white, ink looks good on it. The big issue here is this is a budget product and they obviously want to keep the price down. Like I said, something like a bubble wrap envelope would help a lot in shipping, but this is really something that should probably be shipped in a box. I believe someone did mention when they got theirs back, it was shipped in a box with bubble wrap. And that's probably something that should be happening with the product overall. But to keep the price low, I'm assuming in their price estimations, it's cheaper to just send them out like they're doing and only box up ones that they have to send back out. So if this is something that you're interested in, I'll leave an affiliate link in the description and maybe in the pinned comment, and you can grab it from there if you want. That helps support the channel at no extra cost to you. Other than that, you take it easy. Nathan Brendan Masters, hasta.
Don't look back, we're here to stay. A life we knew would come one day. And this is it, the borderline to where the future leaves us behind. The fire will